2 weeks ago, I posted this video and a lot of you guys said it was the worst foot you'd ever seen on the Hoof GP channel. Well, today she is back in for a revisit and we're gonna see how she's doing. So 2 weeks ago, we sorted this cow. A cow who clearly needed a huge amount of help. When we lifted her foot up, it didn't look all that bad to begin with, but we were soon in for a surprise. As we stripped away these layers of hoof horn, everything was detached. We ended up exposing her entire corium, and fluid was literally gushing out of the lower layers of hoof horn. This cow's foot was in a serious mess. On this particular trim, I had to really take my time so as not to cut into her corium. If I had, it would have caused a huge amount of pain and really delayed the healing process. This is how it looked at the end of that trim 2 weeks ago. It was a raw mess. We'd applied a block and wrapped the whole thing up with salicylic acid, and when we let her out of the cush, this is how she was walking, far from pain-free. We left the farmer with the instruction to leave the wrap on as long as he could. These are biodegradable wraps, and it means that it will not constrict around her foot, so the longer the products stay in contact with the foot, the better. So it is 2 weeks to the day and we are back, and so is she. And I'm praying that we've worked wonders, because we really needed to. Okay, so our foot is in the air. Clearly the wrap is still in position and so is the block, which is fantastic. It's now time to unwrap that foot and see what we're dealing with. These are, as I said earlier, biodegradable, so they actually just tear apart. This one probably would have been due just to fall off by itself. Even though I said to Daniel actually that this could just fall off by itself, he's been trying to take it off the last few days, but not been able to catch it. Well, that smells bad. So you can see the remains of the paper towel, which is why we use it, because obviously it just falls to pieces. You can still see the salicylic acid, look. If I peel that back, looks a mess right now, to be fair. I think what we'll do right now is get it all washed out. So as we use this hose to wash off the remains of the salicylic acid, we're now starting to understand and realise that it is healing fairly well, but it still clearly has a fair way to go. Okay, so this is the kind of, not the make or break part, but this is where you can definitely make a huge difference. Daniel's got this cow in again, and doing that in itself is, I was going to say half the battle, but it's a lot more than half the battle. It's the difference between full improvement and just reverting back to how it was. I need to be very careful and mindful that this is just freshly grown hoof horn, and that what we're cutting away is the thinnest of thin. I need to get round here. I need to get my hook of my knife in behind that and just pluck away at it. It looks so awkward for me because it is so awkward for me. I'm going to be extremely honest with you guys here. Trimming these on camera makes me incredibly anxious. It is not an over-exaggeration to say that one false move and I'll undo so much of the good work we've already achieved. I don't know how thick these layers of hoof horn are. I do know that they are new and fresh, and they only actually began growing 2 weeks ago, so they can't be that thick at all. I want to do the best job I can possible, but I definitely don't want to go too far. The temptation is to scrape all of that salicylic acid and everything away to show you guys the improvement, but by leaving it in position a little bit longer, it's still going to be doing some good. It's looking good, isn't it?
A little bit, isn't it?
A lot better, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Oh, it will pull away. I wasn't sure if it would or not. I was scared to do that. And even with all the care in the world and the experience of over 200,000 cows, I still go slightly too far. It's not the end of the world,
but I wish I hadn't made the slight error.
I mean, every bit of this was open last time.
Aye.
It's cool. This is a result.
Although I made that slight mistake, I still need to be brave and remove all of this flaking hoof horn from her heels. If I don't, slurry, muck, manure, dirt, whatever you want to call it, will get caught in behind the flaps and cause yet another problem for this healing foot.
What a difference. It still looks absolutely terrible. But it's a lot better than it was.
I know it doesn't look fantastic, but looking back to weeks ago, just try to imagine the improvement in the quality of life of this cow in just 2 weeks.
Right, time to see how she's walking now. Just a quick reminder though, this is how she was walking 2 weeks ago when she left our crush. Definitely far from fantastic, so I'm praying she's walking much better today.
And I am very glad to say that she is. She is walking fantastically well on that block, and this is a trim I am well and truly, thoroughly proud of.
And that's what you call a serious improvement, isn't it, Daniel?
Of course it is.